foggy drive, and I wasn't sure if I should put the live video on, right? And I was like, oh, when I pulled over to decide to do it, literally out in the fog, an ambulance turned around, which was the vehicle in front of me, and I didn't realize it. It turned itself around right in the middle of a bridge. It didn't even wait to get like 20 feet ahead just to turn around, because bridges are much more tight to turn around in. But it got itself turned around, and it just headed back the other way with its lights on, heading towards Ottawa. So that's always sad and tragic. You know, it might have been dispatch going home, or the patient going to Cornwall, if there was a patient in there being transported back that way, or to Winchester or somewhere, might have had to go back to Ottawa for reasons. So always sad to see an ambulance. The gas 130.6. So I like to bless. I always say a little, Father, Son, Holy Spirit when I see it, and hope that the person inside and the staff arrive safely, and that everything turns out okay, and the family are okay, because family are always very important in that as well. So yeah, so some fine country roads. I told you I'd have you back on, so welcome. Let me know if you're jumping in, where you're watching from. If you see this on the hashtag replay, just write in the comments, hashtag replay. If you're catching it live, just write live. A little sip of ice water. Ooh! Out of my pink Tim Hortons, sort of like a Stanley mug, so to speak. This is a big auction here. All kinds of vehicles get sold, and on my left is a John Deere dealership. It's just beautiful. I love John Deere. We just passed a Kubota dealership, and some tractor trailers and some case. So anyways, just came back from a very good friend's house, Seema, her husband Ardash, and their daughter's home, and she was having a mac and mimosas. I didn't have any drinks with alcohol, but I had some nice juices. They had beautiful fresh, they had a catering in. I have his business card. I will give them a shout out when I get home and I'm off the road. They had fresh fruit, beautiful spread of hot food as well. Little miniature nice ice creams with, I think, lavender, and I meant to ask them what was in it, but got so busy throughout the evening. But it was wonderful to network and meet a beautiful photographer. Her name is Lotus. She's from Hong Kong. Her photography business is called Lotus Love Photography, and it's in Ottawa, and she's a freelance photographer, so she'll come to you. She does weddings and all kinds of nature shots and family photos and that sort of thing. And I told her all about Angie's Models and Images, how she can get into the fashion shows once she meets Angie and Angie approves. She is a lovely girl, and she seems to be doing an amazing job, because she was taking a lot of really cool photos of people off to the side interacting, and I love that when there's not, and I suggested a big group photo, so we got that. It was really great. It was wonderful to see Seema.
In 800 meters, continue straight onto Bank Street, County Road 31.
It was good to see Seema. I hadn't seen her in maybe a year, and her business I used to go to all the time, and I've just more tired and lots going on. But I have to get out to see her. She does acupuncture now. She's certified acupuncturist. She's always
continue straight onto Bank Street, County Road 31.
She's always wanting a thirst for education. They own the business called Kelp.
Continue on County Road 31 for 21 kilometers.
They own the business Kelp. I've been using her deodorant for almost 15, maybe 20 years. It's called Sweeta. If you go on my Facebook under my name and just hashtag SWEDA, Sweeta, you'll get to see the post I did about Sweeta. If you go to kelp.com, or maybe it's www.kelp.com, and some of the live videos and the short videos I just did a little while ago were all at her new launch of her new location, because she used to be on Montreal Road right across from the Montfort Hospital in Ottawa. Now she's in her home in Manotick, a beautiful home. The spa is all set up. It's incredible. And she's an Ayurvedically pure practitioner, and she's got all kinds of degrees, and they design and they formulate the kelp. So she boils magnolias in her kitchen, and now they're on a bigger scale. Her daughter is doing amazing in a health profession. She's home for the summer. They've got an incredible family unit, amazing community. Got to meet an amazing dentist today. I've got her also in my YouTube shorts, and once I get home, I will share a little bit more, some screenshots of Lotus Love's photography website, and the dentist as well, their website. She was amazing. And there's so many other people I got to meet, but I got there a little bit fashionably late. They were doing yoga, and then it was time to talk about her new mask and do a lot of photos, capture the product. I did an Instagram post. You guys can check out, if you're not already following my Instagram, it's Shana Cook 37. Facebook is, I think, under my real name, just Shana Cook, and I think it has Piché, which is my maiden name, Piche, just like my YouTube channel has. Oh, guys, check out on YouTube, I Did Podcast. It's IDID Podcast. Please do me the favor, as community and support, just hit that subscribe button. I would appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. And I've got 5 guests already videotaped in 4K. As soon as I get 50 subscribers on that new I Did Podcast channel, I'll be able to live videotape their interviews. We didn't get them edited, but I believe I have the footage from the whole interview, so it's going to be like not quite as what I wanted to have it, and maybe I'll be able to get a video editor in the future to help me with that. But I thought I'm just going to get them podcasted out and actually get them released, launch the podcast channel. So something on I Did Podcast on the channel itself. I have some posts, and it was trying to get people, for people to get to know me, but I was trying to get some views, trying to get subscribers. And guys, I think I only need 12 subscribers, and then the podcast live feature will activate, and then I will be able to, on the computer, I hope I'll be able to figure it out, or I'll get help to do it, but I'll be able to hopefully download the videos of Angie's Models and Images, Angie Sakala Seymour. They own an agency in Ottawa, in LA, and Toronto, and she is known globally. Her models are Victoria's Secret models, some credible people. Her daughter, Helena Alexis Seymour, is an actress, been on the red carpet. She was Jessica Wu, the Chronicles of Jessica Wu, an autistic ninja series that she did, and has been acclaimed in that, as well as so many other things. Her portfolio is just growing immensely, and I mean, I've known her since she's a little girl. Angie used to have the modeling agency in Cornwall, and we shared studio space until our dance studio was Magoo's Dance Company. We literally taught Ryan Gosling dance. Ken and Barbie and Ryan in the Notebook taught him dance, private lessons to get him to become a Mouseketeer, which he did. The audition, he became moved on to be Young Hercules, and then Breaker High, was it? And then, of course, all of his movies are phenomenal. The list of his Hollywood series just goes on and on and on. And Ken is just so fun. It's so him. But yeah, when you see him dance in the Notebook, he dances, just like my husband who taught him, and it's incredible. So lots of fun stories that are going to be told. I've got Andre Pommier, our local jeweler, our diamond jeweler. They're in a family business for decades. They've been in the city of Cornwall, and have been servicing the residents of Cornwall for so long. And there's a family history with Andre and my aunt getting rings made from him, and we always got a piece of jewelry there when it was our special occasions, weddings, anniversaries for the children when they were born, getting their first silver cup. It was a family tradition to get a piece from Palmier's. When I became a nurse, my Nana got my name tag inscripted with the little nurse gold watch that hung. Because when I graduated from being a registered nurse, we were in the white uniform, white tie, white nylons, white shoes, you know. Later on, we were able to wear scrubs, but literally graduated with the cap and the black line on it. Crazy, you know, how times have changed. But yeah, so my piece came from Andre, you know. So Andre was interviewed for the podcast. It's a beautiful thing. He does a lot for the community. Everybody's got such amazing and incredible stories. I've got the comic book owner, the comic book store owner who used to own a few different locations of comic books, outlet stores, forgive me, in Cornwall, Brockville, and I forget where else, but Randy also worked for my father, so we've got a really fun history there that we told that story as well. And him and his wife, they run the Comic-Con, which is a really fun event where everybody dresses up and they've got incredible guests. And when Randy and his wife Carol got married, they were like Superman and Wonder Woman, I think it was. And so yeah, really super cool. So really cool people with really cool stories. Once the live feature activates at 50 subscribers, guys, head over to ID podcast. Please hit the subscribe button. It would mean the world to me. And once I can release all these videos, I've got a lavender farm. A hurricane was coming in. A tornado warning had came in. It was not comical, but it was comical. Unfortunately, we were supposed to have lavender lemonade. We were supposed to have this picnic set up. They have these beautiful tractors and so forth with all, you know, painted white with a little bit of lavender, and they had a beautiful aesthetic throughout the fields. But when I went to do the podcast, it was their last day. They were closing, and because of the weather warning, they shut it off. They didn't open, or they had opened and then had to close, basically. God bless everybody that's buried here. I hope you're no longer in pain and watching over your loved ones dancing and singing in heaven. And guys, just a quick short story. This place here had a big theater right here, I believe, right there, or was it on this side here, called the Piccadilly Theater, right there where the hole was to my right. And it was world famous. Back in the day, people would come by horse and carriage from all over the place, from even the United States, come over the border, come from Brockville, Kingston, and they would come to dance, listen to live music at the Piccadilly Theater. And it just recently got condemned and had to be torn down. It was full of artifacts, but there's a history there. So yeah, so these live videos, guys, when I'm chatting, you know, I know it's a dark road. A while ago, it was super foggy. It was pretty cool, but we might see a deer try to cross the road. We might see a fox. We might see a moose. You know, we've got everything. We've got black bears, cougars, all of that fun stuff. Raccoons. You never know what you're going to see. Turkeys or wild animals, wild prey birds, you know, like eagles, ospreys. Some falcons are crazy. I got attacked by a falcon. In Cornwall, the thing attacked, I think 14 people or more ended up in hospital before they blocked the whole area off. But even people had to cross that intersection to get to the local hospital. And because they crossed that intersection, the mother bird would come down, and if you look at a peregrine falcon, what they do is they come at you with their intense claws that really look like an eagle's claw, and they butt you with their chest at high speeds. And it attacked me. My son and I were hanging up yard sale posters. My aunt passed away. Bless you, Aunt Sheila, rest in peace. And we were selling house contents and so forth, and we went around her neighborhood, which where the hospital was an intersection close by, to put up these yard sale posters. And the peregrine falcon attacked me and I fell to the ground and I was trying to get through the intersection. Cars were stopped on all 4 sections. My son was freaking out, Jerikai, my youngest. I said, go to the truck, get safe. You go get safe. I don't want you to get attacked, because it was knocking me down, and he was at the time quite a bit younger, so he's really tall and strong now, but it doesn't matter. These things will take down, you know, a 300-pound man easily. And yeah, so it attacked me because its nest was close by, and the ministry never relocated that nest the next year until I forget what happened anyways, and they finally had to, because the roads were having to be closed. It was you know, going at windshields and everything. It was crazy. But yeah, so I've got lots of stories to tell, and that's what these lives are going to be about, guys. If you tune in and you've got the time to watch a little bit or all of it till the end, you're always going to learn something really cool. There may be a story about where I'm driving through, or I like to do some celebrity reviews. I like to review things that I find interesting. I like to share those things with you. I get some negative comments, you know, and I think that's all part of it on my shorts. But I just try to share things that I think are pretty cool and I think are interesting, and I think you guys might find interesting. And when I share some of my shorts when I'm traveling, I like to share monuments, abandoned houses, gardening, you know, how to be self-sustaining. I love fashion, geology, photography, travel. There's just so much. So when I do all of those things, hunting, fishing, all of it, I'm sharing it with you guys on YouTube. And before YouTube, it was on my Facebook. My old Facebook account got deleted, so I think that Facebook account is only 5 or 10 years or 7 years old, I don't know. But my YouTube's like going on 5 years. Oh, there's someone on the side of the road. I'll take my brights off so I don't blind them. They're doing the right thing. They're facing traffic. They've got a safety vest with some reflective material. That is the thing to do. I had a very close stepsister friend. Trisha Robertson got hit by who ended up being her ex-boyfriend on her bicycle. His back bumper hooked onto her front tire, and when
In 600 meters, turn right onto the Ontario 401 East ramp to Cornwall.
Whenever he realized he had her on the bumper, he hit the brakes and she flew into a fire hydrant and ended up in a coma for years. My dad took care of helping do all of her.
Turn right onto the Ontario 401 East ramp.
Doctors at CHEO and went up all the time. Anyways, it's a tragedy, but she is being taken care of. She has her mind.
Continue on Ontario 401 East for 46 kilometers.
Is there a way to... There we are. That shouldn't talk anymore. How's that? No more talking from the GPS. Her mom took care of her, and her mom is quite elderly. Like, I've lost my dad. I've lost my mom. My aunt, who was like my mom. I didn't realize, guys, you were not facing any type of traffic there. Sorry about that. Oh, it's because this thing, the hook thing, fell off. There we go. Can you see now? It needs to be adjusted somehow. It's just loose. I don't know if there's a way to tighten it. So Trisha's being taken care of, I believe. I don't know what's happening lately, but it's a tragic story about an amazing person, and she was basically trapped in her body. At the end, she had her mind. You know, she'd like to have wine into her feeding tube on her birthday or New Year's and celebrate, and, you know, things like that. She used to like to watch, like, The Young and the Restless, or I forget what you call them, soap operas and things, when that was the thing. I think they still are, but back in our day, they had all kinds of, those are the days of our lives, and Young and Restless and all this. So everybody had their superstar crushes, and she would watch them on TV and her cheeks would get flushed, and she now has a computer that she can blow into, and each blow means something, and she's learned an alphabet with the straw and the breath work, and it now creates sentences so she can communicate much better. So that's credible. I don't know what the newest technology she has is and how things are. I wish I did know. I just lost touch of the family after my dad passed away, but I could probably try to find him and reach out and see how things are. But yeah, I've had a lot of friends and a lot of tragedy in our lives and a lot of blessings. I have 4 amazing, incredible children who I love very dearly and are totally inspirational to me. They are each in their own right artists, musicians, painters, beadwork artists, dancers, singers, actors, actresses, you know, incredible musicians, guitar players, piano players, ukulele players, and more. And so I love them. They're incredible. And I had a rainbow the other day where I went on a little outing. I don't go out too far lately. I still got some big goals to get through. I got a nice little trailer. It's called the Wolf Pup. Sorry about the noisy windshield wipers. The trailer's called the Wolf Pup, and it's going to come on some adventures. And so I'm just getting it set up with all my little Amazon things. I've got a nice pink toaster. I have a pink blender, which I might trade out for the smaller greener blend. The green blender is smaller. It's more like a bullet blender. But I've got some cute straw pots and pans instead of using plastic or glass, which tend to break in those types of situations. I got this strawware stuff. I've got nice gold forks and utensils, and I've just been collecting things for quite some time. I got a cute little gray banana fruit hammock. I've got like a bamboo cover for my bed topper. The kids are going to have their bed toppers as well as sheets, also from Amazon. So I'm going to have all those affiliate links. I'm just learning how to do all that. Are going to be in my short videos and in my live videos and everywhere, so that you guys can tap on it and get the exact thing. I'm going to show RV life, camping life, the pros, the cons, tricks and tips. I used to do Shan's tips and tricks all the time back in the day. So I like to still share those things. And as I have more time and more freedom, I'll be able to do a lot more video editing. I don't know how to edit, so everything's raw right now, which I think is a blessing, to be honest. And let me know in the comments if you're getting tired of the over-edited, over-produced videos. Everything's cut short. You know, and I find sometimes 1-minute sentences are cut because they want to take out that breath and that to shorten up the video to as short as they can. But I don't know. I like to just let it flow, man. You know what I'm saying? Anyhow, look at these 2 tractor trailers. One of them is probably tired. The one on the left that's trying to pass, it's all over the road. Right now, it's to the far left. This car to my left is a Quebec plate. He or she should not be getting that close to those 2 tractor trailers with that one swaying. They get tired at this time of night. This road, I don't know what the temperature is. I'm sure it's above freezing, but there are some nights getting into the single digits. And these roads are slippery when wet. If some of these tractor trailer tires, they're supposed to have monitors on the treads, make sure that they have X amount of tread. They're supposed to have these. Look at the tractor. Look at the small car is flashing the headlights to tell the tractor trailer to get out of its way. It's crazy. Usually another in Canada and usually the United States, I believe, that the tractor trailer or the vehicle you're passing should shine their brights a few times to flicker to say, hey, you've got enough clearance, you can get in front now. It helps the vehicle, especially tractor trailers. See, this guy still has his signal light on. He's tired. It helps them know it's okay to go in front, that they're safe. Just yesterday, my girlfriend was going to a car show not too far from where we live, but out and about, and on the highway that I'm on, there was a tractor trailer accident and the traffic was backed up. I don't know how long it took them. I have to ask her. She thought it was going to be hours, so that's a possibility. But yeah, so guys, when it's raining, you don't put your cruise control on. You should have your foot already ready on the gas and on the brake, so that you are ready to react if an animal does, a deer or a buck or a moose or a bear or anything crosses the road. You're ready for it. Traveling, I used to travel a lot to Kingston, Niagara Falls, Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa, Florida, travel all through the States. I love adventure. I love traveling. And so all the miles I've done, I have seen some scary things traveling down to Florida. I've seen motorhomes with families standing off to the side watching their whole motorhome burn from a distance. Our motorhome caught on fire in Nova Scotia when we had our 4 children. The engine wires, unfortunately, weren't repaired properly, and they touched the battery and melted, caused a fire in New Brunswick. Thankfully, the area that it happened in, because if it would have happened an hour before, for hours before, there was no villages, no houses, no help. It would have had to be towed, and the tow truck cost would have been outrageous, because it was a big old, I don't remember what year it was, but it was an old camper. We called it the Shagmobile because it had like that golden triangular glass in the kitchen cupboards and wood panels halfway up and shag carpet. And it was just an old camper. It was a couple who'd always owned it, took care of it, took it to Florida. It was our first adventure to go to the East Coast with it. My dad's mechanics looked at it. Anyways, where it caught on fire was a blessing, because we literally were able to put it in neutral, which we should have gotten out of it immediately. But everything, it's happening. You're not sure what's quite going on. We didn't realize how bad it was under the hood, because it was big old metal hoods, right? Didn't have all the electronics like our dashboards tell you today that there's something going on. Anyways, pulled over to a mechanic shop, got out, and realized that we shouldn't even have parked it that close to the mechanic shop, that it could have caught the mechanic shop on fire. Called the fire department, and there ended up being this massive mall that we were not used to. Where we came from, we didn't have malls around where we lived that had roller coasters in them, and children's whole play circuses, and amusement parks, and video games, and rides, and theaters, and it was just crazy. So where the RV broke down was this area that had this mall. So the kids were happy. We were a little bit bored of it by second day as parents, but the kids were just ecstatic. To them, it was like a Disneyland, technically. They had been to Disney every year, but, we appreciated it. Oh, that's a Tesla on the other side of the road. You can tell by the headlights. But, yeah, we appreciated it. And we ended up having to stay, I think, 2 to 3 days, unexpectedly in that area in Nova Scotia. Guys, when you're on the road, see this tractor trailer is doing what it needs to do. Well, it's okay to come over. Anyways, when you're on the road and you see something on the side of the road, that's what you should do. You should always try to come into the farther lane, by the way. It's just good etiquette. It keeps people safe. Keeps construction workers safe. Keeps people... We had a dance teacher, David. He was an incredibly talented dancer from the islands. He is always joyful, helpful, kind. He pulled over on this highway, but on the opposite way, coming into, excuse me, the city we live in. He pulled over to help a pregnant mom whose car broke down, and a tractor trailer, because I think it was winter possibly, sideswiped him, and he's paralyzed now, and he had just had a baby. He had 2 children, I believe, young children, and just, a lot of unfortunate stories, man. So I don't take this highway lightly. Just the other day, there was a tractor trailer in the ditch right up the road from me in the middle of the afternoon. A new driver, young guy, you know, barely looked strong enough to turn the wheel, and that's not being rude. There was black tire marks there, you see. Went in the ditch out of the subway. They started parking in the back of the subway because the tractor trailer area is like getting more full and full and full with more and more tractor trailers. Even the new overflow areas, certain people's nationality, they're separating themselves to the subway that's owned by maybe a friend or something, and they started with big parking lots out back, but he was coming out of the subway and it's a deep ditch, and his tractor trailer cut short and the back end dropped in this deep ditch. I'm pretty sure the axles couldn't have been drivable after. I should have stayed and watched the recovery. If you look back on my YouTube, you'll see the actual tractor trailer blocking the boundary road and in the ditch. I could have stayed for the recovery. There was already one tow truck company there, but I think they needed the heavier tow truck company, probably Herb's, which was the heavy rescue 401, and that tractor trailer probably had to get dragged backwards and unhooked, and that driver might have lost their job after this, you know. Maybe they'll be graced, you know, one-time accident type of thing, but I'd imagine their insurance goes up. He was quite nervous on the phone. It was quite a spectacle. I left, there was still no police or ambulance or anything like that, but I don't like to stay at some of those scenes too, because where the area was, there's a lot of traffic, a lot of tractor trailers, and if this thing's gas tank would have exploded, it shouldn't have, because the box, the driving, the cab part was still on the road, and the box part was all torqued in the ditch. But you never know if another tractor trailer or vehicle is going to come smashing into it. I've seen that happen. They don't see it's an accident. They don't slow down enough. I'm not going to say a story that I could tell. I know someone who literally didn't notice the truck ahead of them was pulled over and in neutral because they were on a construction area like this in the States. They slammed into that truck. That truck went flying off the vehicle in front of it. It flipped into the ditch and it killed the driver, and that gentleman had 3 children. I know that person personally. I know people that have been on the 401 on a motorcycle and in a bad accident, and they almost didn't find the driver because he was found so far from the motorbike they couldn't believe it. They found her pelvis all broken and everything. They assumed she was the driver. They found him hours later in the cold, wet, long grass, and it was just like by chance they found him. I think it was a volunteer fire department, if I'm not mistaken, found him. But you know, she was never able to have children, and they were in years of recovery. And the person that smashed into the vehicle and the truck flipped and killed the driver also broke the back of the passenger. That passenger had to be airlifted from the United States to Montreal hospital finally, after staying months in the States with a broken back. I don't know if they had proper traveler insurance. That's one thing, guys. If you're traveling into Canada or into the United States or anywhere, into Quebec into Ontario, man, get traveler's insurance. Don't think that your OHIP, your QHIP, your whatever Red Cross might cover it. Sometimes your crew has cheap traveler's insurance. If you're going to fly out of somewhere, you can usually tap into the, let's say, Air Canada, so you don't mix boating and drinking. Don't mix, yeah. Because we're along the St. Lawrence River here. A lot of boating, and there was just some bass competitions. I think there were some nice big boats in town. But there always is, too. Anyways, it's a beautiful place to fish. But yeah, you know, just get proper insurance, man. And like these areas, if it says go 80 kilometers right now, these signs are covered. But all these pylons generally, you know, you could go miles with these, and you're supposed to be in an 80 kilometer zone. If you're going miles in these and is an 80 kilometer zone, especially in Quebec, if you got Ontario plates, man, all these hit cameras in the telephone poles and everywhere else, you will get an e-ticket. Trust me. My daughter had her wisdom teeth pulled, and she was still under severe anesthetic, and it was a bad experience. And I found her unconscious in the back room of the dentist office, going purple, her tongue, and she took days to recover, weeks, and still had some memory issues because of the situation. That there should have been more that happened, but thank God I was a nurse and I demanded to go back. At one point they stopped me, and then after I was like, I'm going back. I have a bad feeling. Anyways, I had to drive home with my oldest in that situation, and at one point was bleeding, and I was trying to, and still was unconscious. I was trying to position the head. I had one of those neck cushions, but it wasn't strong enough. Like the one I have now is super strong. Sorry, I had to roll my eyes. Like, this van's going unusually slow, and you never know, man. But yeah, was bleeding, so I was trying to pack with packing, and we were going through a construction zone similar to this. And everyone else around me was doing like 110. I was doing about 100, but it was like 80, you know? And when I got home, I got a very expensive ticket from what it was way back then. It was like $155 or something, or $355, I don't know. But it was just a terrible experience. Often when I'd visit Quebec, unfortunately, when you have Ontario plates, I'd have my Jeep smashed. The windows would be smashed. I love Quebec City. I love, you know, some of the local places that we're used to going to. Like, we're used to Valleyfield, and my daughter went to university in Sherbrooke, so it was in Quebec. You know, it was nice to visit, but... And you got to go through Quebec. You can go through the States, but you can go through Quebec to go to the East Coast. So I'd likely go through Quebec. That's the shorter way for where we live. I don't know if I'm going to get that vacation in before fall. Might be a miracle if I do, but I hope to. But I'm hoping to do a short vacation with the trailer. I hope my daughter, possibly with her partner, we might get to go camping with it once before fall. And you never know, maybe do the East Coast, or do, I don't know. You guys drop in the comments if you're in Ontario, because I can't go out of, you know, well, I mean, the East Coast, I'm already talking about going out of province. I can't do the States. I'm getting my passport, and I'm getting ready for some flights, and maybe some traveling to Florida. I used to drive to Florida all the time, so I probably could drive that route. Maybe I will, you know, just to adventurize, you know, and do the things I used to travel as a kid. I think that would actually be awesome to relive that memory. Going to south of the border, it's like a tourist trap. It's hilarious because it's got, I'm not sure if this, oh yeah, it does have us coming over, okay. South of the border is famous. It starts with signs like I think it's in North Carolina, the border. Yeah, South Carolina's border. Anyways, once you go through all these different states, you start seeing south of the border signs, and they're neon green and orange, and they always got Pedro or a Mexican hat. And as you start getting closer and closer, the signs become more and more and more, and it's hilarious because as you're really close, they just become so frequent, and they're funny. They're always telling you how many hundreds of kilometers you are away till you're at south of the border. So by the time you get there, you really want to stop there no matter what. And so it used to be when we used to go to Florida, we used to go in a camper, and with my older brother, sister, and my mom and dad, and sometimes was just my dad, and then I traveled often with our children. And yeah, so we would see the signs, and there's ice cream, and there's all kind. I used to love to get, like, that would be the good place. My nana and my aunt used to always want some souvenir things, like a shooter cup or an ashtray or a keychain or a magnet for the fridge, you know, stuff like this, you know. And so it's a fun place to get all that, and I'd love to relive that. And my kids are getting older, that they're working, and you know, maybe going back to university, and well, one of them is the older one, and maybe the younger one, and the younger one wants to travel, and they all love to travel, and oh, it's just crazy. So I don't know if I'll be able to get them convinced to go to the, you know, Florida, the Keys, or to relive my childhood, trip to Florida, if they'd be interested in that. There's the Cornwall Water Tower. See the new 110 kilometer an hour signs. So that's the new 401. You can do 110. Used to be safe to do 119, 118. As long as you stuck under 120, you didn't get pulled over. But they could have zero tolerance, and they could pull you over for no reason. But I hope there's a big old camper like we used to have. Oh my God! And then I had a camper, and I spent a lot of time doing the Algonquin Park area, Quadville, which just had an unfortunate event that I don't want to talk about, Egansville, where Al Capone used to hide out and live.
In 3 kilometers, take exit 796 toward Boundary Road.
That's crazy. I thought I shut off my GPS. But so Al Capone used to hide out in that area, and we tried to find it in the cabin in the bush one time, and it's known for the mineral capital of the world. It's going to have a rock show coming up soon, and there's a rose quartz quarry, and there's an area where you can get loads of smoky quartz and clear quartz and jade and aquamarine and pyrite and beryl and all these things. So, and that's not that far. So I might go there with the trailer so I can enjoy it, and I might bring my kittens. I might only spend one night out because the trailer doesn't have heat or air conditioning, but the nights are getting cool. And, I don't know, but all these, look at this tractor trailer, like this. My exit's coming soon, so I'm just gonna let him cut me off because he's going to anyways. And I'm just gonna get behind this fellow. So guys, travel safe, always be alert. If you're falling asleep at the wheel or you're tired, play music.
In 800 meters, take exit 796 toward Boundary Road.
Sorry about that. I'm going to pull off to get some gas, something to eat, and I hope y'all have a good night. Peace out. Cheers, y'all. Those ribbings in the road, that keeps a lot of people alive. There's some in the States.
Take exit 796.
States that hear welcome to South Glengarry. The sign too dark. They're too cheap to light it up. Anyway, sorry, I shouldn't have said that. But
in 300 meters, turn left onto Boundary Road.
In the States, we used to go into caves in the Carolinas, and my dad used to love to stop and see all the different sights. My mom always wanted to get right there, but my dad used to love to stop, and I loved to stop. And so she would go to sleep, and
at the light, turn left onto Boundary Road.
I can't stop it. I'm gonna stop it now. But basically, Loblaws. My Nana used to work at Loblaws. Look at that. That's a sign. I love you, Nana. His mud flaps say Loblaw. Oh, I don't know if it can be seen. Anyhow, they're way down there under the tire. But yeah, so I have a lot of excitement. I could talk the whole way to places. Explain journeys to Toronto when I went to see my first baseball game, when I went to see the Toronto.
Continue on Boundary Road for 1.5 kilometers.
I got really cheap tickets because it was pre-season, and I got nosebleed seats, but I sat right behind the bleachers. I got them to autograph their baseballs. It was amazing. Anyways, I'm going to pull off for some to eat. Peace out, y'all. Cheers. Take care. Stay safe and happy weekend.